You serious?
I'm Marcus Bronzy. This is How to Kill an Hour. Alongside somebody who I'm glad to have back on the show for this run of episodes, because we're just getting gold, like, in the form of just this shade that's been thrown.
Yeah, if you don't like any of my episodes now would be a good opportunity to press pause and go listen to one of the many other How to Kill an Hour episodes that I'm not in.
Like our most popular one, or one of the most popular ones, Dildo Drone. One of the ones that you're not in. That's in right. Yeah, well,
I wonder why I'm not in that one.
I think if you were in it, we'd have to edit it out anyway. It would get too hectic. But Killing Time, Dev, you've done something that's quite it's quite an interesting way to kill time, actually, because it's quite an iconic thing that you've just been at it today since we pushed record, right?
Yeah, my friend James, he looks after very, very dope producer High Contrast, and High Contrast has a new song in the Trainspotting film, new one. It's on the soundtrack. It's like one of the first, I think it's like the first song that you hear. And he invited me to come down to, there was like a screening that he had up here in the West End. And so I went down, and as I went in, I see James, and he said, we're just sat down there on whatever row. Oh, we're next to Annie Nightingale. Who I know we're bounding around the word legendary quite a lot today and on the last episode, but in terms of legendary producers, man, I mean, it doesn't really get much bigger than Annie Nightingale. You know, been on Radio 1 since the beginning, has sort of evolved into this real sort of new cutting edge music connoisseur, and I imagine would just have the most incredible stories. But that being said, as much as I have this adoration and respect for her, is as much as I get just so nervous around. I can't even meet her eye when I see her. Just, you know, there's few people I get that starstruck around when I see them around the building. David Rodigan's one of them. Trevor Nelson is I'm a bit cooler with Trev because I've had a little bit more FaceTime with Trev. But Annie, every time I see her, she's like, oh, hi Annie, hi, goodbye. And then I run away from her because I'm so terrified of just making a complete prat of myself. So I'm so nervous around her that when I went into the cinema, even though I'm supposed to be sat next to her, I'd left a seat gap in between us just because I thought, oh, she doesn't want to sit next to me. She's going to be like, this is fucking nobody, like, get away from me. So I'd left it a good 10 minutes before the film started, before I just sort of leant over and went, hi, Annie, is anyone sitting here? Can I sit? She's like, yeah, sure. Oh, okay. And then as soon as the film started, I was thinking this. I get to say, forevermore, I watched the Trainspotting 2, the sequel to Trainspotting. I watched it, sat next to Annie Nightingale, man. That's... I'm really, really, really happy that happened.
Did you offer us some popcorn?
Can I be 100% honest with you?
Yeah.
I thought about doing the popcorn trick. I did think about it. I thought, would she laugh? Would she laugh, or would she?
Please explain what the popcorn trick is, because
you know the popcorn trick.
Yeah.
For you, this is the other thing. Maybe it's a maneuver I'd be able to pull off in my early 20s. I don't know if, like, now I could sit in a cinema and just achieve an erection out of nowhere.
That's a skill in itself.
Sturdy enough to insert into the bottom of a box of popcorn and then maintain rigidity until I'd attracted the attention of someone next to me, and then sort of eaten down the box far enough to reach the helmet. You know, the sort of time it would take between starting it and then the payoff. I don't know, but I did think about it. I was like, would she laugh? Would she be, oh, that's fucking hilarious, let's be mates? Or would she be like, police? No,
or option number 3, spat on her hand. And slapped you in the face. And slapped you in the face. And slapped you in the face. And slapped you in the face.
This is it. I was scrapple that. Obviously, that obviously just went on in my mind. I would never do that to Annie. She's lovely.
That could have worked out as a great experience.
I was so nervous. I couldn't even offer her popcorn.
You didn't offer her popcorn?
Well, because I was like, well, what? She says no. Oh, is she annoyed that I'm eating popcorn? It was. I don't know. That's how nervous I am around her. I couldn't even offer her popcorn.
It's a noisy snack to be eating around people that you're trying not to mess with.
That's what I mean. And I was thinking, is she gonna be like, she wants to really enjoy it? I get super annoyed when I'm around like people who eat at the cinema, and I'll level with you. Once you've gone to a couple of screenings where it's just you and a handful of people, or at least media types who really want to watch the film or won't talk for it or whatever, once you've done that a couple of times, it's kind of hard to go back, guys. I'm telling you. It's like last year I flew business class for the first time, and it changed me, guys.
Can you fly normal anymore?
I turned into a snob. I mean, I'm gonna have to. I can't. That was paid for. I can't fucking afford to fly business all the time. But it changes you, man. There's just some things in this world that you will do once you've done. You can't fucking go back again, right? That's it.
What's another thing that you could, once you've done, you can never go back from?
Have sex without a condom is quite difficult, isn't it?
I'm all for safe sex, but someone needs to be real out there when they're educating and just say it feels so good.
But that's but that's why you need to use protection.
Yeah.
When you're when you're starting out, you need to use protection, because once you don't, you're like, oh no, this is sort of. But then the cons, I guess.
What, like dying? Yeah, it's a bit of a fucked up side effect.
AIDS is quite bad.
Yeah.
Having a kid.
Yeah.
It's pretty terrible.
Can be probably harder to deal with than death in a way, I suppose. But
again, it's sort of hard to. Do you know what I've also thought might be kind of hard to go back? Like having my arsehole licked. Have I talked about it on a previous podcast? That I dated someone who was adamant that I would enjoy it. Just let me do it. I was, nah, man. I'm not letting you anywhere near my fucking rotten arsehole. But the other thing I was thinking is if we're being brutally honest, is what if I really fucking enjoyed it? What if I was like, this is the fucking bee's knees, mate. This is great.
It's a win then, isn't it? It's a win all round. Because she's happy, you're happy.
Because I quite like my balls being cradled, for example. And when they're not, right, it's kind of hard for me to... I've sort of become adjusted to that. I like the support that they get.
When you say cradled, like just cupped.
Yeah.
During
One hand's
sex?
fine. One hand's fine. Yeah. Yeah. Whatever position I'm in, just find a way to cup them. Just find a way.
Really?
Yeah.
And that's your sweet spot?
Yeah. Like...
No cup, no pop?
Sort of, yeah.
Really?
It's more difficult, yeah.
Wow.
And every time I'm like, do you know what? I should try and train myself back the other way. I should train myself back.
Nah, that's not bad. That's
I should train myself to just be able to, like when you know, like if you've ever had an elongated period when you're single and you just watch loads of porn, right? And you start going down these really dark holes and you start getting very, very, very specific tastes, right? And after a while, you're like, I need to pull back a little bit. Where is this going? Like, after a while, you're like, man, if triple anal is the only way I'm going to be able to get off, then let's just rein it in a little bit.
That's going to fuck up the real world as well for you, because it's not easy to come across triple anal every single day, for example. But the cupping, no, I don't think that's too far, bruv. Not like a strong squeeze.
No. We're not like, talking anything sadistic.
Or like a slap on it.
No. Just no. Nothing like that. No. Please no. Just support is all I'm on. Just something a shoulder to lean on is all I'm after. You know.
Okay.
I don't know, it's like I got old balls now or something. I don't know.
Nah, I've never heard that. No, I don't think that's fucking crazy. But
we're all talking about things that were. Once you
to go back from. Yeah,
it's difficult. I don't even know how we started. We're going to the cinema.
Yeah. So yeah, Trainspotting 2. Like I was saying to you on the phone when you told me you was gonna go see it, I said I'm a fan of the first film. Great, like all Scottish cast as main characters, right?
There's a black Scottish guy in there as well. It's a trip.
Yeah.
Isn't there certain accents that trip people out when you hear black people with them?
Yeah,
Scottish is definitely one of them.
We both know an Asian gentleman called Gully who's Scottish, and many a time I've brought Gully into the room and had him speak while everyone has their eyes closed, and they talk to this Scottish guy for 10 minutes, open their eyes and see an Indian man and go,
That's a really weird thing to do.
What? To do it?
When you close your eyes, okay?
Everyone close your eyes, open your hands.
You're peeking. Don't show your eyes. You can listen to my friend talk for 10 minutes. And you're going to write down and speak what you think. No, a friend of mine, Yao, he's very black and a Scouser.
Yeah, I'll do that. See, when I see you and if I ask you to come in the room and you ask me why everyone's eyes are closed, it's because I'm doing that.
Okay, all right. Okay, fair enough. Still weird, but we'd gone to Cannes one time with an artist that he'd managed called Kof.
Yeah,
we'd done this little showcase thingy, and there was a woman who worked for some record company or whatever afterwards. We was all having a chat, and it was blowing her fucking mind. Whenever he spoke, oh, you don't talk like that. That's not your real voice. There are some accents that just trip you out when you hear in Trinidad, right?
Yeah.
They have a huge Asian population, and I'm not talking about Asian-esque. I'm talking like I don't know how to say it. I mean, I don't know how to say it without being offensive. Like,
say it.
Just
say
really Asian, you know, like Mr. Patel Asian sort of thing. So bad. Oh my god. I mean, you know what I mean. And you sort of expect them to be like
an Indian man,
hello, buddy, whatever, but they're not. You know, they're like proper, like what's happening, boy?
I love it. I think it makes you feel. I think when you see, it's like there's a strong Chinese community, obviously in the West Indies as well. When you see them cussing out somebody in better friggin' West Indian or Jamaican, when you see a Chinese man with better patois than a Jamaican man cussing him out, I'm like, right, okay.
But there are just certain accents that just a trip on people.
But T2. All right, yeah. No,
Trainspotting, really good.
Trainspotting 2.
Really good.
Basically, got all the same actors. 20 years later, I genuinely don't know the story of the film. What's the story of this new film?
You don't want to tell you the story, surely. It's basically, I mean,
the end. Tell me the end.
It's a sequel, so there's a lot of questions that are answered from the first one.
Yeah.
It's 20 years after the first film has been taking place,
right.
So it's basically a 20-year cliffhanger. And you won't be disappointed with how it ends up. There's no loose ends or whatever. It's very much a definitive end sequel. Okay. I don't know if they would make another one. It'd be very interesting to see if we had to wait another 20 years.
That's fucking long.
But just brilliant. I think the way it's been shot, it wasn't trying too hard. It wasn't trying to make every single frame iconic, and I felt like the soundtrack just kind of worked really nicely with it as well. Again, not relying too much on nostalgia or the fact that the soundtrack from the first one was really successful. I loved it, and I really enjoyed the first film. And I didn't go into this one with my expectations too high, for fuck's sake. But I really enjoyed it. As a fan of the first one, I really enjoyed it.
Cool. There's a lot of heroin in the first film.
Yeah. There's not as much heroin in the second film, but there's still heroin.
Right,
it's a film about heroin.
Yeah.
You couldn't have the sequel to...
All right. And
Trainspotting about a little bit. Just a little bit of skag.
Yeah, a little bit of skag in it. A little bit of arm slapping.
Terrifying though. You know how a lot of people thought that glamorized heroin? I never thought it did.
It's fucking scary.
When I watched it, I never ever want to be like that. When you see the depths that people will go to, just to heroin's one of those drugs. It's not really. No one does a bit of heroin. You do it, and once you're injecting it, that's it. Now that is what your life becomes.
That's something
full-time junkie
you never want to do because you can't come back from. Or it's hard to come back from.
Mate,
seriously, all joking aside.
I know my fucking personality, mate. Start of the year, unplugged my Xbox, just wrapped it up, put it in the wardrobe. So I realised I'm fucking addicted to computer games, mate. I know it sounds silly, me saying it, but I'm fucking addicted to computer games. And some people have balance, just like some people can have a drink every other weekend and just be fine. With some people, they turn into alcoholics. Some people can... I don't know, do a line of cocaine or whatever and go, yeah, that's it for me. And then other people, that's what they're into.
Yeah. Me,
I don't have any balance. So just like with computer games, some people might be able to play a couple of games of FIFA and done. Me, I want to like sit up through the night into the next day. And what I realized it was robbing me of the most is time and productivity. There's nothing wrong with at the end of your working day, come on, play a game, whatever, cool. But for me, I don't have that kind of balance. I'm not able to do that. So I just fucking stopped playing.
At least you understood your situation and did something about it. Yeah. And the thing is, the good thing about having an addictive personality is if you can point that addictiveness in the right direction, then that starts becoming a mad skill other people, that becomes focus, bro.
Mate, without even having seen the film, that is the message of the second film. The message of the second film was, you're an addict.
Yeah,
that is who you are.
Yeah.
That is in your DNA. You are an addict. You're not going to be able to change that. What you can do is get addicted to something else. With me, I wanted to just come studio all the time, and since the start of the year, that's all I've been doing. I just come studio, and I've been trying to put that same addictiveness where I would look up on when it was with computer games, I'd look up on YouTube how to complete this certain level, or how to level up your character, or get apps that can help me out with the game. Like, become super obsessed. I became that way, but just with something productive. So now, instead of looking at YouTube videos and how to fucking tame a dinosaur or some shit in Ark Survival, which I was playing, now I'm looking at like some German dude making techno or whatever and learning really cool shit. And the difference between the hours that I might spend here at the studio compared to sitting at home playing my computer games is that when I'm done here, I have something very real and very tangible that I can show people, that I can have, and that might potentially, work out really well for me. And even if it doesn't, I'm learning something that is useful.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying by any stretch of the imagination that, computer games are bad. No way. Just like I would say with other addictive substances, alcohol, for example, I wouldn't say, you must never drink. No way. For me, though, personally, I don't have that balance where I can just... some fucking computer games are amazing. Amazing. You can put on some fucking surround sound headphones, big screen TV, dim the lights a little bit, couple of beers, you might as well be inside that game. I'm not able to just experience that for a short amount of time and then cut myself off from it. And since I have had that mentality since the start of the month, I don't play computer games. I try and use my time as productive as I can. I've been happier and I've been getting shit done as well.
Will there be a time you allow yourself to play computer games again? Or do you think...
Maybe. Right now, I'm just thinking. I even want to say this to my nephew, even I'd be like the biggest hypocrite, because he's the same way. I was exactly the same as his age, or I have been. I want to say to him, the only reason you should be spending hours and hours and hours playing a computer game, excuse me, is if you want to be a professional gamer. If that's what you want to do, then cool. Then pick your couple of games that you want to get really good at and go for it. But if it's just because you just like playing it, I don't know. Again, maybe there's people listening to this that probably just think this is complete nonsense, and you probably have that balance in your life, and I really do envy you. But there'll be people also listening to this who know what I'm talking about. When you sit down to play something, you're not playing it for like 2 hours, 3 hours. You're talking about some 6-7 hour sesh through to the next day until your eyes closed. You can't play no more. Your eyes are watering because you forgot to blink. Yeah, that's how bad it is.
What's the longest amount of time you ever gamed for? What's been the longest marathon?
When Fallout 4 came out, I'll tell you right now, when Fallout 4 came out, I played for 19 hours in a row. Yeah.
How the fuck do you function?
Non-stop.
How do you stay up for that long?
Don't know, man. Coffee.
Drinking caffeine?
Coffee, just being psyched about the game. It was when it first came out.
How do you
19 hours I played.
But obviously
straight.
You stopped for a piss, not a poo.
Yeah. I stopped, had a piss, maybe even had a nap.
But the TV's on.
The TV would have been on, yeah.
The console's on.
19 hours in a row. I played there, huddled underneath a blanket with the windows, the curtains drawn. And I think, I want to check to make sure this, I think it came out in the summer. Oh, guess who got back to me? Alice Levine.
Hey!
Is this in the... Should we call her up? It's going to sound shit, innit? It's going to be really...
No, we can call her up. We can call her up. We can kick off the next episode by calling her up.
Oh, hang on.
Basically, Dev, we've got to say it up again just in case the next episode is the first time we're hearing this story. But Dev's calling his mate up, Alice, because he was on TV on this show called Bargain Hunt, and there's a little story behind it.
You could just listen back to the episode before this, right?
You can, yeah. Fair enough.
You guys are busy. You got stuff to do, right? We could just recap it for you.
I got stuff to do in my day, Dev. But in summary though, T2, Trainspotting 2, good acting, good film, good job to good one, yeah.
I give it 3 skaghead thumbs up. Good, man.
All right, wicked. Well, I'll be Marcus Bronzy with the
We can
legendary.
call her now. We can call her now.
Yeah, so that's why I'm gonna set
What
up.
about?
That's why I'm gonna set up for you for the next episode.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay. But wait, because
All right, I'll be Marcus Bronzy, and you've been Dev. Yeah, there's plenty of ways to kill some time out there. We'll be back in just a touch.